go take a nap.
So headed to the left of the fork, I went for my second trip up north to York Mills. This section was surprisingly tricky, I believe mostly due to my poor pacing at the start, but it did have a nice variance in elevation with a lot of long climbs but disappointingly short descents. It was around this point that I was also starting to realize just how hot it was, with the sun reaching its highest point, and everything was cooking. I stopped at an aid station on this lap, getting some extra water to fill up into my bottles, as well as a little snack to eat. These stations were an absolute lifesaver. Slipping back onto the DVP, these rolling climbs and descents that I had seen before had actually become quite enjoyable, and I was starting to understand the pacing for them, as well as the better understanding of when and where to shift. This may come as a bit of a surprise to a lot of people, but before this bike with its super modern technology, I didn't really shift all that much on my vintage bike. Seeing all these athletic cyclists, it was starting to get to me. I was beginning my transformation into an athlete. Okay, maybe not at all. But I was starting to translate some of the things I'd seen on GCN to my CCM. I figured we should probably do a quick overview on the bike that I'm doing this on. This bike is a Kijiji amalgamation of parts. The frame was a Canadian Tire CCM frame. The wheels are some very, very nice Mavic Axioms. The drivetrain is an L2 11-speed group set with a microshift 11 to 42 in the back and a Amazon 52-2 front chainring. A lot of this bike is accumulated pieces that were able to be fixed and assembled into something working. Most of these pieces are below mid-range, but all of them were got at a steal. Also, to film this so that my hands are free and my body is not carrying any extra weight, I set up this selfie stick going off the seat post between the seat stays of my bike so I can get a nice wide view of the event.
That could have been bad. All right, this is the last battery for this camera. What I'm gonna do is doing one more loop of what you just last saw, up to York Mills, back to here, and then home finally, I hope. Please. Big wipe. I'm both wiped and cooked, but it's lovely out. It's so quiet. You can hear birds, you can hear animals. You never get this on the DVP or the Gardener. It's just a continuous ramble of motors. So this is nice and refreshing. Anyways, I'm gonna hop back on the bike before my legs get too used to the land, and yeah, keep going. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. That uses up a lot of air. I can go into my legs. I'm waiting for those teeth things that you see when you're on the DVP. Where are they? I swear they were around here. Did they grow legs and leave? We just finished at the York Mills rest area again. On the road. Hopefully this is the last leg, because I'm on my last legs. I am wiped. Yeah, it's getting to me. It's getting to me. I'm tired. back on the grind. It doesn't stop. I thought I was at the halfway point when I was over there before. I was wrong. I was very wrong. The struggle is real. I'll be back on later.
I re-emerged somewhere from a daylight daze where the road had become two-dimensional and my legs wings. My mind had left my body and it was replaced with just a circle, a cycle, a revolution, spinning and spinning. Then I hopped back off my bike and set up the camera. I was ready to go hard, my mind refreshed, my legs reforged, my butt sore. I was ready to go full out. I started pedaling hard and I just did not stop.
Last battery, last big hand separate.
trying to make full use of anyone who was on the road to get a good grab, staying behind them until I got close enough and then swinging wide for an overtake. I didn't want to get too close because I was worried that some of the less experienced riders might think that this was rude or scary, and the last thing I want to do is make someone not enjoy this ride or crash. Good thing though is that it seemed to go over fine with everyone. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see this other rider who was behind me drafting. He was keeping pace, and I was trying to keep a good pace too. I was starting to get tired at this point, but a sense of childish pride just wouldn't let me give up the position to him. Yes, I know this isn't a rig. Anyways, I would make good use of that rider soon, as I had essentially carried him throughout the flat section, and now it was his turn to carry me up the steep on-ramp that feeds into the Gardner. Even with the draft and the massive climbing gears on my bike, I was struggling up this incline. As you can see here, my head keeps on tilting down towards the road as the sun and the weight of my massive noggin wore my neck down. The ride was definitely the longest I'd ever been in the saddle, and it wasn't over yet. This last sprint felt both like an eternity and an instant. I couldn't feel my legs and I couldn't feel my lungs. The road was the only thing I saw as it passed on in the eternity of my memory.
Okay, I'm dead. That's all I got. Thank you for tagging along. This was Bike for Brain Health 2023. Funds raised to help research to combat dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm gonna go take a nap. Hope you have a good one. Remember, be kind. All right, bye.
And somehow, just like that, it was over. The ride was over, but the twist was yet to happen.
Hey, so we're at the finish line now, and we're taking a quick look at Strava. Oh God, it hurts to sit.
Here we go. Some more riders coming in. We got another youth
If we look at
rider
Strava,
coming in.
and we look at the distance,
Big applause for youth riders right here today.
why does that say 94? Why does it say 94?
Yeah, we certainly have had some young
Did I do an extra lap?
riding with us. How old is this young child here?
I am in pain.
That's right, I had unintentionally added another 20 kilometers to my ride. I was doubting my abilities so hard throughout the second half, thinking that maybe I was just riding extremely slow, but no, I was just riding wrong. The wrong route, and just Now, it should be noted that my misunderstanding of the route and the sign is of my own fault and is not unanimously shared by every rider. Now, 95 kilometers in one ride is a serious accomplishment for me. But doing over 100 kilometers in one day would be an even bigger one. So a couple hours later, once I got home, I hopped on my bike again for another short ride, just down around the town, completing 105 kilometers and my first ever century ride. Now, back to what's going on downtown. Once all that riding was done, I happily hopped off my bike, found my mom who was working at one of the volunteer stations, and shoved an entire bagel into my face, as well as 1 or maybe 2 cups of coffee. This entire ride was immeasurably fun and rewarding to have participated in. In total, our funding campaign had raised $500 towards brain research, and we're hoping to raise even more next year, as I've already signed up again. I strongly suggest, if you are able to and you have the time to participate in this. There's no better way to see if you're really ready to tackle a long ride than if you try your hand here with all of the support and camaraderie that's on display. And finally, to anyone who has any relatives or loved ones who are suffering from either dementia or Alzheimer's, spend as much time as you can with them. Cherish them and all of your memories of them. And remember, no matter how many memories are lost, you'll never lose the moments that you got to spend with them. Grandma Sue, yeah, I love you both very much.